Management's going up. Leadership's going. Physique, decorum, knowledge, and leadership is going up. Very nice. Awareness and reputation. Strength. Very nice. Alright. Let's shelve some more books. Let's charm some more shopkeepers. Attend guests. Yeah, this is good. Start. Management. Tidiness. Awareness. Is this the party? The kitchen is unusually cluttered today. Counters full to the brim with bags of groceries containing all sorts of vegetable oddities. I found a fruit, at least I think it's a fruit, I don't recognize, and pick it up. I look it over and then show it to Licia and Renee. Do either of you actually know how to cook one of these? Or eat it for that matter? Nope. No idea. Right, and it made sense to buy it anyway? Alright, I admit we might have gone a little overboard with the shopping, but the merchant made it sound so delicious. I was practically drooling. I couldn't not buy it. Don't worry so much. It's not like we're trying to feed it to Lord Sandor. Licia will taste test it and see if she dies. And if she dies, we'll know that we did not prepare it properly. Hey, I don't like that idea. Why do I have to be the one to die? You were going to try it anyway, weren't you? True. Then I don't see what the problem is. Fine, fine. But then it doesn't kill me. But when it doesn't kill me, it tastes absolutely delightful. You'll both have to be content being jealous because I'm not sharing. I think we can manage that. Yeah, we're good. Licia purses her lips. Anyway, we've got a lot of cooking to do, so if we're going to have everything ready for tonight, so let's get started, shall we? Right. I guess we should appoint a fearless leader then. We need a leader? Yup, we need someone to give orders and keep things organized. Listen to her, it's a good idea. If Licia doesn't have someone giving orders, she ends up doing her own thing, which can have disastrous results. What can I say? I'm a Terra. It's a wonder she's still employed. It's a wonder she's still employed. It's a wonder I'm still employed. So that explained. Who is in charge today, Licia? Who's in charge today? Licia, Marcel, or me? There is a certain... Oh, who's in charge today, Licia? Marcel or me? There's a certain irony there, but I suppose there's no need to point it out if it gets us started sooner. I pick... She looks at us both over carefully before announcing the winner. Marcel! Yay, my charisma. Success. Me? Yes, you. You're a normal leader. I can feel it. Yeah. Oh yeah, nice. You do have an impressive aura about you. It's true. It's like you were born for this moment. Well, I'm honored to be given the chance to play my part in such a life-changing event then. That's the spirit. That's the spirit. Your commands, my lord? I hesitate hearing... Shouldn't this be management, not charisma? Management, whatever. I hesitate. Hearing those last two words come as a bit of a shock. To be honest, they feel a little odd. I know I might have to get used to them if I manage to impress Lord Sandor, but I don't think it'll be an easy transition. I suppose these two wouldn't treat me the same way as a lord, even if I asked them to. That's kind of depressing thought. I think we broke him. Oh dear. Sorry, I was just thinking. Oh? About what? About how overwhelming this honor is. Now, enough of that. Let's get to work. Okay. We spent some time making various dishes until we've got a small feast prepared. It's more food than I have ever seen gathered in one place before. Looks good. I'm looking forward to getting to eat some, that's for sure. There's just one thing missing. And what's that? A cake! She picks up a cookbook and points to a particular recipe. This cake! I scanned the recipe. It does sound delicious, but it also sounds unreasonably difficult to make. I don't know, Licia. Wouldn't a simpler cake do? But I want this one! Renee sighs. Licia turns to me and gives me her puppy dog eyes. Diligence! Oh, nice! Yes! Now we're doubling up on the skills. It looks harder, but I think that's fine. It's a special occasion after all, and we're perfectly capable of putting the work in. Renee sighs. Hooray! Oh goodness, we're getting up there. Alright, I'll stop being lazy. I'll make Lycia's cake. Huzzah! You won't regret it. It's going to be the best cake ever, you'll see. Well, at least Lycia is happy. We get to work mixing ingredients and then put the cake in the oven. There's not much to do except start cleaning up as we wait. So, were you able to invite Borges, Lycia? Oh yes. He said he'd be happy to join us. Good, I'm glad he could make it. Yep, everything is in order. Borges can come and Lord Sandra gave us his permission to throw the party. She hesitates and then frowns thoughtfully. Vincent might end up having some trouble though. He's in charge of Lady Rosalind today, so if she doesn't let him go, he won't be able to join us. She's always ruining things. Shh! You can't say stuff like that, even if it is true. Lissy is right. There's no need to state the obvious. Oh, stop it, both of you. I'm serious! Lady Rosalind can make your life utterly miserable if she has a mind to. I know that from first-hand experience. Oh, I haven't had the pleasure myself. Vincent took over after she made Lycia cry, and she took a shine to you for some reason or another, so I've never had direct one-on-one contact with her. I'm jealous, Renee. That was you, Lycia? I'd heard as one of the servants, but... yeah, it was me. Seeing how miserable Lycia looks makes me a bit angry. Lycia is a nice girl. What possible reason could Lady Rosalind have for picking on her other than sheer spite? What exactly did she tell you? I'm curious about that as well. You never did tell me. Look, I don't want to talk about Lady Rosalind. I just want this to be a good day, as Rosalind-free as possible. Lycia looks as if she's going to burst into tears right at this moment, just talking about her. I feel guilty for bringing the topic up, and I get the feeling Renee does too. You're right. We all want that. Sorry for bringing her up. Just so long as we're done with that. A lot of conversation goes on after that. Renee and I start up on one occasionally, but Lycia is just not in the mood anymore. We all go about our task quietly until the cake is done. Luckily, Lycia seems to perk up when we pull the cake out of the oven. It smells so good. That it does. I think everyone will be happy with it. I'm happy with it, and that's what matters. Lycia decorates the cake as Renee and I set the table in the kitchen, where the servants eat. It's not as fancy as a dining room table, of course, but that doesn't matter so much. Once we have all the food laid out, it's time to get the guests. Renee does that part, letting me and Lycia take a break. Borges is the first one to arrive. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Borges. I know this affair is probably a bit low class compared to the events you're used to, but I'm glad you decided to come anyway. A dinner with friends is not low class in the slightest. I'm honored that you made the effort to invite me, really I am. Aw, you're too kind. Anyway, have a seat. It shouldn't take too much longer for the others to get here. Now I'm shifting into Madison voice for Lycia. Thank you, I'll just do that. Mind if I sit by you, Marcel? Not at all. Borges takes a seat next to me as four other servants, including our usual cook, file in. I haven't worked closely with most of them, and while I'm sure they're nice enough, I'm glad Borges is the one sitting next to me. He's easy to talk to. Ooh, Kamal and Renee are back. Renee returns, Kamal following behind her. He takes a seat across from me, giving me a small nod of recognition. Yes, so I can gaze lovingly into his beautiful eyes and bulging biceps. No Vincent? Afraid not. He might be able to come by later, but he told me not to wait for him. Right, let's get started then. Renee nods and then takes a seat next to Lycia and the cook further down the table. Once everyone is ready, we dig in. I try a bit of everything, but mostly focus on Renee and Lycia's dishes, since I generally know what my own cooking tastes like by now. It's all tasty. I think we did a pretty good job. I take a minute to look around the table and see that everyone is chatting amiably and having a good time. Success! Sounds like a great party. It's kind of nice. Okay, it's really nice. I sort of hope we can do something like this again sometime. You've been pretty quiet. Is everything alright? Huh? Oh, yes, of course it is. Sorry if I worried you. Ah, it's fine. I'm sorry I bothered you over nothing. It's just, you look kind of out of it, and I thought you might not be enjoying yourself. I am enjoying myself, really. I haven't had a lot of chances to attend events like this. That's all. This is all pretty new to me. I don't really feel like getting into depth on that right now, so I change the subject before Borges can inquire further. Does everything taste alright? Yes, it's all delicious. You three outdid yourselves. Agreed. I'd almost forgotten that Kamal was there. He's been quieter than me. That's normal, though. Thank you for the wonderful meal. Lycia and Renee are the ones you should thank. This was their idea. They funded it and did most of the work. I just helped a bit. Don't worry. I'll be sure to thank them as well. You still deserve thanks, too. You won't convince me otherwise on the matter. Oh yay, Vincent's here. We all stop for a second when Vincent enters the room. You're fine, don't let me interrupt. Once everyone is sure Vincent is really fine with them continuing as they were, they slip back into their own conversations. Vincent takes the free seat next to Kamal. You escaped then? No, I was dismissed for the evening. Same thing. It is not. Vincent lets out a loud sigh. Kamal might be more right than Vincent is willing to admit. Vincent scans what's left of the dishes. Most of them have been picked clean, so his choices are slim now. I missed out on the cake, didn't I? Yeah, sorry, Vincent. It's not your fault, I was late. I saved a piece for you. Kamal hands Vincent a small plate with an untouched slice of cake on it, and here I thought he was just hoarding it. See, they do have a good friendship. That's cute. That's adorable. Ah, thank you, Kamal. I knew you'd want one. I've become that predictable, huh? Considering how long we've worked together, it'd be embarrassing if I didn't pick up on your habits. You two have been here the longest out of all the servants, right? Lord Chiron said something about that. That's right. Vince has been here longer, though. A little over 10 years, right? A little under, actually. It'll be 10 next month. I started working here when I was 16. Oh, he's 26. Kamal has been here for about a half of that, so 5 years. That's impressive. Not really. I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't working for Lord Sandor. Same here. You were a gladiator before, right? I don't see why you couldn't go back to doing that. Yeah, I already heard you know about that. Not that you should, of course. I personally would prefer it if you stuck with a job that didn't require you to harm people on a regular basis. I could go back to it, but I don't want to. In any case, I haven't practiced seriously in a long time. You'd still be able to show most of them a thing or two. Sensing that we were all talking about gladiators, Renee scoots closer to the four of us, an excited gleam in her eyes. I got to see a couple of his fights before he quit to work for Lord Sandor. The moment he stepped into the arena, the crowd would go silent. Kamal just had this aura about him that would send a chill up your spine. You could tell his opponents could feel it too, because they'd always end up shrinking back a bit. And when it's time to actually fight, Kamal was absolutely ruthless. He'd go in hard and fast and switch up his style as he learned the opponent's strategies. The one I saw him fight never stood a chance. They always went down within the first minute. Borges winces at this description, but doesn't actually say anything. Renee takes over the conversation and continues giving us details about different matches she's seen over the years. Borges grows a bit paler each time she describes in detail a new injury sustained by the losing party. The most recent one I saw was insane. This veteran fighter named Boreas was facing off against this incredible newcomer, Amara, and Miss Renee. Vincent suddenly has a cross look on his face. Yes? Wasn't that the match that took place on the day you were supposed to be seeing your family? Ah, well, we went to see them match together? Unfortunately for Renee, she is convincing no one. Vincent launches into a lecture about lying. Borges looks a bit relieved as he picks over the rest of his meal. He doesn't seem to have much of an appetite after Renee's accounts, but I think he still manages to enjoy the rest of the evening. People eventually start leaving one by one, until only Licia, Renee, and I are left. I imagine they're as ready to go to bed as I am, but the kitchen is still a mess. We definitely can't leave it like this. Ugh, there's so much work left to do. Yeah, but we still have to do it no matter how tired we are. Well, yes and no. What do you mean? There are delightfully some things we should take care of, like putting away the food. There are definitely some things we should take care of, like putting away the food, but we can wash the dishes tomorrow when we've gotten some rest. Maybe. Wait. There are definitely some things we should take care of, like putting away the food, but we can wash the dishes tomorrow when we've gotten some rest. Maybe. I don't think Vincent would like that, though. Ooh, but I've got... Oh, man, I am killing with the skill checks right now. Help me put away the food and I'll get the dishes by myself. Huh? But that's not fair. That's not fair to you. It's fine. Nice. Nice. Look at that. We're more than halfway. All right, I got to keep going. I didn't spend any money on the party, so this can be my way of kind of making that up to you, too. And while I am tired, I don't think I'd be able to rest easy until our mess is completely cleaned up anyway. Renee sighs. All right, we'll clean it all up before going to bed. We'll? There's no way we can just leave you to do it by yourself. Let's just hurry it up so we can eventually get some sleep. I smile to myself as the three of us get to work. I would have been okay doing it by myself, but the company is definitely nice. Nice. And we're almost up to 30 on most of these things, so hopefully I don't have to worry about, these kind of things later on. Let's do some shelving of books near the end, shall we? Yeah. Education went up by 2. Very nice. Charisma went up by 2. Management, relationship with Vincent. Writing a letter, etiquette went up by 2. We're almost up to 30 on these things, which is very nice. Tidiness went up by 2. Awareness is up, so we got awareness up to 30, and we got our education up to 30. Cool. Or education is up to 28. So let's do education, haul, shelf books, haul luggage, take inventory, tidiness, etiquette, and then more management and more strength. Okay. Cool. Education went up. I pull another weed from the garden and toss it into a pile we've already pulled. There aren't a lot of them in the first place, but since there really isn't anything else for me to do, Kamal enlisted my help anyway. I keep thinking about what he told me about his past. He revealed a lot of things to me about his, and I still haven't said anything about mine. I guess he doesn't really need to know, but the way things stand, I feel like I'm cheating him or something. I'm going to tell him. I'll probably keep my relation to Lord Sander a secret, but the rest I think I can let him know. Kamal? I know that you said that I didn't have to say anything, but, well, you told me your story, and I didn't think it was fair to keep quiet about mine. You probably already guessed it, but I used to steal things to get by. Kamal nods. I know. I let out a deep breath, and I hadn't realized I was holding in. Of course he'd guessed it. What other reason would I have to learn how to sneak around for? Well, I guess an assassin or a spy might find those skills useful. I think Kamal's reaction might have been more serious if he thought I was either of those, though. Anyway, I suppose that this means he's really not going to hold it against me. Kamal meant what he said, even knowing more specifically what I've done. So yeah, I guess that's all I really wanted to tell you. I kind of thought it'd take longer. Kamal lets out a small chuckle. If you were telling me about a specific incident, it might have, but you were just telling me in general. Right. I go quiet, not sure what else to say. I mostly just feel awkward. Kamal smiles and eases me back into the conversation with a question. You were poor, right? I don't get the sense that you stole just to steal. Yes. My mom, she had a hard time getting a legitimate job because of a scandal in her past. Kamal's eyes focused slightly at the last part of my sentence. He's definitely noticed that I chose to remain vague. Still, he doesn't push the issue. Him being respectful about it just makes me feel worse about holding back, though. Would it really hurt to tell him? I can be more specific without telling him that Lord Sander is my dad. Still, he might be able to piece it together on his own if I point him in the right direction. I don't think it'd be the end of the world if Kamal knew, though. No. If I was going to trust anyone with this, I would trust Kamal with it. I mean, he told me something that he really hadn't told anyone else, and I feel like I need to be able to show him that I can make myself vulnerable with him, and I trust him. Ah, this is hard. No, it's not, Marcel. You can trust him. I give it another second of thought before deciding to give Kamal more details. She fell in love with a noble and ended up getting pregnant. Of course, that was a problem for him, so my mother ended up being abandoned. So that means you have noble blood. Not that it's done me any good. True enough. It's interesting, though. I think I might understand you a bit better now. Just from that, Kamal smiles. Da da. Just from that. I knew you didn't really want to get into your mother's past, though. It's okay to move on if you'd like. I nod, hoping that I haven't given away too much. Kamal hasn't said anything, but I feel like he might have figured out more than he's letting on. Of course, that could just be me being paranoid. My mom did what she had to take care of us, but it was hard. We were barely making it, and then she disappeared for a few days. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how long she was going to be gone. I didn't even know if she was okay. I thought... My voice catches in my throat. It takes a surprising amount of effort for me to complete the sentence. Well, I thought I was alone. Not a lot of employers had much use for a kid, and since they knew I was my mother's son, they didn't want to hire me anyway. I didn't have a lot of options. It didn't help that the market was full of stalls of fresh blood. Eventually, my stomach started to doing the thinking for me. The first thing I ever stole was an apple, a green one. It had this wonderful luster to it, and the coating on it was flawlessly smooth. I don't even like apples that much, but that one, it tasted so crisp and fresh. At the time, I was convinced that it was the best thing I'd ever eaten. I felt really guilty afterwards. I actually cried over it and told myself that I'd never do it again. It didn't end up being just that one time, though. I kept doing it, even when I didn't need to. Stealing things made things easier on my mom. She didn't approve of it, but it didn't matter. If I helped her bring in money, she didn't have to take every job that came to her way. She could avoid the more dangerous ones. She wouldn't have to disappear again. I had my reasons, and I think they were good reasons, but that still didn't make it right. What made you stop? My mom. She got a decent job and made me swear that my stealing days were in the past. Now that we were in a better position, we had to live honest lives. I agreed, but to be honest, I never really stopped thinking of it as an option if our situation changed again. I've been able to keep my promise so far, and I do want to continue keeping it, but Kamal puts his hand on my head and ruffles my hair. And just what was that for? You were getting too serious. Maybe. You'll be able to keep your promise, Marcel. And what exactly makes you so sure about that? Kamal grins. Me. You? Yup. You're never going to be in a situation where you have to steal again because you've got friends you can rely on now. If you need money, I'll give you what you need. If I don't have it, I'll earn it. And if for whatever reason money can't solve the problem, I'll crush anyone giving you trouble with my fists. Oh, Kamal. You're kind of sounding like a thug right now, Kamal. Kamal chuckles. If things played out differently, I might have been. For better or for worse, things worked out for me in the arena, though. Anyway, I'm serious about what I said, Marcel. If you're in trouble, I'll do whatever I can to help you out. Oh, he wants to take care of us. I can't help but smile. Kamal's confidence is kind of contagious. Thanks, Kamal. Yeah. We both go quiet for a minute before I decide to pursue something that Kamal mentioned a bit earlier. Hey, Kamal. You said that you might have been a thug if things turn out differently. Does that mean you used to be poor too? Kamal takes a moment to consider giving me his reply. I wasn't rich. My family had enough to get by, though. I was never in a situation where I had to consider stealing so I wouldn't starve to death. Sometimes we had to hold off on seeing a doctor, and we hardly ever owned anything new, but it wasn't really that bad. I didn't see it that way when I was a kid, though. I wanted more out of life, and I was going to get it. And that foolhardy attitude is what led me to the arena. I saw that there was coin to be made there, and I went for it. It beat being a fisherman like my dad. I don't know, I think you could have been a good fisherman, too. You think so, huh? I do, you're good at everything. Kamal laughs. It only seems that way. Oh yeah? Name one thing that you're bad at. Distinguishing reds and greens? Right, I almost forgot that was an issue with him. I wonder if I can use that against him in one of our fights. I'm not sure how I'd do it, though. Fair enough, name another thing. Dealing with uptight nobles? Right, I guess that counts. That is why he's been exiled to the garden. One other thing. Are we going to keep doing this until I run out of things to say? We're doing it until I'm convinced you aren't perfect. One more thing, Kamal. Let's see. I'm not great at talking to women. I don't know or care to know anything about fashion. And I have anger management issues. Satisfied? Not really. Will one other thing make you happier? Yes. Kamal smiles and shakes his head. Alright, but this is the last one. Fair enough? I guess. I can't give birth. That's because you're a man. I know. That makes me bad at it. That doesn't count. I say it does. You're evil. Kamal chuckles. I never said I wasn't. Now, if you're done pestering me about my weaknesses, how about we try to get some actual work done? Fine. I love these scenes. Kamal's such a great character, and watching the chemistry between these two and their banter is so cute. So adorable. I don't really want to drop it, but I can tell that I'll probably start annoying Kamal if I continue pushing him. Kamal sighs. I'm not as impressive as you think I am. I guess he realized I was still hung up on a previous bit of conversation. He hesitates a moment before asking me a question. You want to know the secret to being good at what you call everything? He doesn't wait for me to reply. Instead, he just answers the question. You stop doubting yourself. You don't tell yourself you can't do something or that you're not good enough. You just do it. You keep doing it, and one day, you become good at it. That's all there really is to it. Stop doubting yourself, huh? That's not something I think I'd be particularly good at. Still, the way Kamal says it kind of makes me want to try things his way. You're way too cool, Kamal. I see a slight blush creep into Kamal's cheeks. Yeah, well, I think you're pretty cool too. Really? Really? I blush awkwardly for a minute before deciding that it's time to get back to work, before I even become even more embarrassed. I think we should get back to work now. Kamal nods in agreement. Sounds good. Get us up to 30. Nice. Cleaning those rooms. Writing those letters. Taking that inventory. And hauling that luggage. Okay. Alright. Cool. Everything is at 30 now. So hopefully I'm good with skill checks for the rest of the game. We'll see. A few of Lord Sanders' previous guests have rallied and returned to the estate together, perhaps hoping that combining forces will help them endure Lady Rosalind's torments. While it gives Lady Rosalind a number of targets to focus on other than us, servants, it also means we have more people to tend to and feed. Luckily, we're set on the food part. We have a lot of ingredients left over from our party, so we were able to avoid running to the market and buying up whatever they happen to have for sale today. Unluckily, we don't have the manpower to cover all our guests and get all of our daily tasks finished, especially since Alicia has taken ill. Renee and I are convinced it was that strange fruit's doing. Borges says she'll live. It's just a matter of waiting for the sickness to pass, but that still means we're down one worker with more guests than we've ever had at one time before. Vincent and I have been able to manage them so far by herding them all into the library. Most of them sit around a table at the end of the room, but a few nobles have chosen to occupy one of the armchairs in various corners of the room. One of the latter guests calls me over. You, servant, I would like to pass the time reading. Recommend a book. Now there is a broad request. Do you have any preferences, your lordship? Perhaps a historical piece, something exciting. Right, history. I head over to the shelf where the history books should be and scan the titles. Education, required value 20. Nice. I've been reading a lot lately, so I'm able to recognize several books I know are good. It takes me a minute to pick out just one, but I eventually settle on one about Mother Morte and her army of undead. I figure that should be plenty exciting. I head back to the guest that made the request. What is this one about? It's an elven account about excavation that ultimately ends up freeing Mother Morte. It's well written and a view into the elven mindset at that point in history. I was surprised you find it in Lord Sanders' library, actually. I was surprised to find it in Lord Sanders' library, actually. You won't find this sort of book in most human libraries. Nice. We're getting up there. Nice. I admit you've piqued my interest. Very well, I will gladly read this book. He smiles and I hand it over. He immediately opens it up and starts scrolling down the page. I take it I did an excellent job on this particular task, but I can't help but feel a little proud. While he's distracted, I take the chance to check in on our other guests. One of the first things I notice that Lord Lysander seems rather nervous. It only takes me a second to figure out why. The young woman across the room, Lady Demetria, is quite pretty. It's probably none of my business, but watching him eye her longingly without doing anything is kind of painful. Why not? I don't think it will hurt to give him a little push. I go over to where Lord Lysander is sitting and offer him some tea to start things off. He looks a little startled, but he does respond in a surprisingly polite manner that I'm not used to hearing from nobles. No, I'm fine. Thank you, though. I plan to be more subtle, but given his response, I don't think he'll mind if I speak more openly. Yay, management! Lady Dimitri expressed an interest in the garden earlier. He blushes a bright red, looking alarmed. I don't think she'd be opposed to it if you asked her to join you for a walk. But you never know unless you ask. You're right, of course. I don't know, though. Do you really think she'd ever consider someone like me? I nod and give him a confident smile. I do. We need 3 more shields. Come on, we can do this. 3 more shields. I'm not sure I convinced him to go through with it, but he does look more hopeful than before. That's a start, at least. Feeling good about my meddling, I leave Lord Lysander to his thinking. I end up standing by one of the bookshelves in an attempt to stay out of the way as Vincent zips between guests, offering up drinks and snacks. They talk amongst themselves and manage to keep each other occupied. I guess we've got a handle on the situation for now. I hang back near the wall, ready to move if any of our guests need my attention. For now, I half listen to the conversation they're having.